serving up Texas' hottest original acts. The all-you-can-eat Texas Music Cafe boldly goes where commercial radio and television fear to tread. So kick up your heels for another exciting episode from the all-you-can-eat Texas Music Cafe.
Hi, and thanks for joining us this evening for episode 4 of Troubadour Tales. First up, we have Mr. Bernie Nelson.
How y'all doing? Just once, like, terrible. Honesty goes a long way, you know. I live in Texas now. I live in Fredericksburg, Texas. I spent 36 years in Nashville, Tennessee. Got the T-shirt, got out. Moved there in 1984. We call that PG, pre-Garth. But I've had a pretty cool life so far. Now I get to do it in Texas. A friend of mine named Blake Mevis, he was really good at finding talent and knowing what to do with it. A fellow named Herb Woozy found him and asked him to produce this kid named George Strait. And he found a couple fellas named Frank Dykes and Dean Dillon, and they gave him songs like Unwound and If You're Looking for a Stranger and Nobody in His Right Mind. They cut the first record on George. And Blake Mevis produced a bunch of records on George, and then they gave him to a guy named Tony Brown, and Oceanfront Property and all that stuff were big hits for Tony Brown, producing them. So Blake had to find a new kid, so he found this kid out of Kentucky named Keith Whitley. He produced 10 Feet Away, Homecoming 53, and a little thing called Miami, Miami. And then they gave him to another producer, took him away from him. So he called me one day, said he had another kid he wanted to cut one of my songs on. I said, well, what record label is he on? He said, well, he ain't got a record deal. But if you let him cut this song, I can get him a record deal. So I called the record label and I asked them, and they said, if you let him cut it, we're pretty interested in this kid. So this is on the Dreaming Out Loud record. My old buddy Trace Atkins. From the time you were a baby, you had this notion in your head. Someone would come along and sweep you off your feet, like in all those storybooks you read. If you're looking for salvation, like some damsel in distress, ain't no heroes on white horses. At least I ain't seen one yet. There ain't no knights in shining armor, and ain't no never, never land. And I won't ever walk on water. I can only love you like a man. Heaven knows I'm no angel, in flesh and bone like all the rest. Never claimed to have a halo. All I can give you is my best. But I will never try to hurt you ever give you cause to doubt that my heart is yours forever, baby. Ain't that what true love's all about? Yes, it is. Ain't no knights in shining armor. There ain't no never, never land. I won't ever walk on water. I can only love you like a man. I can only love you like a man. Thank you.
So I got the pleasure of speaking with Bernie quite a bit before the show started, and he kept that a secret that he wrote that song. So that's incredible. But if you get the chance to look into his history of songwriting and who he's wrote with, and just some of the songs he has been able to give us, I'm just assuming everyone here is a music enthusiast. So yeah, definitely a lot that we can learn from him.
Vice versa.
So I do have to say, I started law school at Baylor this week, so I am so glad. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here with y'all tonight. If I accidentally start singing about intentional torts, I apologize. But we're going to start off with a song I wrote a couple months ago. It's called Streets of Gold, and it's kind of a story about, we're all aware of the love that God gives us so freely. But it's that moment whenever you keep messing up and you just really feel unworthy of the grace we get. There's a place beyond the sky. Take me home. Hear my cry. What I've done, it ain't right. Lift my soul. Hear my cry. Your streets of gold, my dirty shoes don't make no sense. I have to choose. Try and drag a camel through a needle's eye. You know I am weak. Lord, give me some redirection. If I'm your portion, take my affection. Can't keep living in the dark at night. I pray my soul to keep. There's a man, Prince of Peace. I only hope that he knows me. I can't choose wrong or right, flesh and blood. It's not my fight. The streets of gold, my dirty shoes don't make no sense. I have to choose. Try and drag a camel through a needle's eye. You know I am weak. Lord, give me some redirection. If I'm your portion, take my affection. Can't keep living in the dark at night. I pray my soul to keep. you led me home. All I've lost is all I've known. Thank you, guys.
Wow, I love that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just a beautiful song. I love the biblical imagery in there, and just as I think about that, I think the first one I'm going to start with tonight has some biblical imagery too, and I think as artists that sit up here on this stage, it's really easy to fall into the temptation of trying to put ourselves first, when the person that I think all three of us put first in our lives is Jesus. And so with that being said, this first one is called High Horse. Well, you're sitting tall, saddled up on your Clydesdale, thinking your manure don't smell. And you say you're following Jesus Christ. Well, I'm sorry, friend, I couldn't tell. He wouldn't fit in your saddlebag, so you left him back at the tag. Now he's walking behind you, cleaning your mess, and pleading, child, please come back. While you're sitting up there and you're boasting and bragging, he's healing the folks who done fell off the wagon, and he's setting free all the friends you've been dragging along through the mud. So you can keep on riding that road to nowhere, puffed up pride and no remorse. But if you want to find freedom and following Jesus, get down off your high horse. Well, you see, caught off guard by my disregard for decorum, and I'm not surprised. It's probably hard to see what's wrong and right with fence posts in both of your eyes. Sitting high in your saddle and counting your money, from peddling pyramid schemes to your Bible study. Rodeoing a camel that someday won't fit through a needle. But as for Jesus, while you're sitting up there and you're boasting and bragging, he's healing the folks who done fell off the wagon, and he's setting free all the friends you've been dragging along through the mud. So you can keep on riding that road to nowhere, puffed up pride and no remorse. But if you want to find freedom and following Jesus, get down off your high horse. Now I sit up here, the worst of them all, full of sins that need some absolving. But that's the great thing about mercy and grace. First you gotta admit it's a problem. You think if you climb down off of that roan that you'll have to carry it all on your own. But Christ will carry it for you, and you'll just find freedom walking with Jesus. Instead of sitting up there and you're boasting and bragging, you'll go help the folks who done fell off the wagon, and you'll make amends with the friends you've been dragging along through the mud. There's still folks riding that road to nowhere that sure need a change of course. And maybe they can find freedom in following Jesus if you get down off your high horse. Who knows what's in the store? They may go tell 10 more if you get down off your high horse.
Sammy, I was curious. Are you married or engaged or something?
I am not.
Well, listen, I met your dad. And you know that song, I'll be right here cleaning my gun, you know? In your dad's case, I'll be right here bench pressing this truck.
Yeah, he's scaring him away.
So I used to live in a place called Dixon, Tennessee, just west of Nashville, and I was doing shows in Texas going back and forth, and one day on the drive from Fredericksburg, Texas to Dixon, Tennessee, I wrote this song. And I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, but I've been known to, I've got one song, I think it's on the Whiskey and Water record, talks about how I've spilled whiskey on my Bible. And that's just the truth, it just is. So I wrote this song, and my buddy Chris Hadley's here, and he works with a group called Kinfo that I kind of had a hand in bringing down here from Michigan. And they've been kind enough to, what did I figure out, 9 songs of mine they've recorded, something like that. But I had this guitar like this one here, but it was a blonde color. And Rico Gonzalez said, Mr. Bernie, I really want that guitar. I said, I tell you what, you take this song of mine to #1 in Texas, I'll give you that guitar. Be careful what you say. I miss that guitar. Live my life somewhere between Jack and Jesus, between Folsom prison blues, and I saw the light. And I know I'm washed in the blood, and I'm a believer. But nobody gets out of this crazy world alive now. And I hope there's a honky-tonk in a heaven. There's a bar, I hope they've stocked it well. Hope there's a honky-tonk in a heaven. When I get there, I'm gonna raise a little hell, yes I am. When that whistle blows, you know where I'll be going. Back to where those neon angels, they know my name, yes they do. If I die tonight, well, I know that I am forgiven. But hey, St. Peter, now if it's all the same, son, well, I hope there's a honky-tonk up in heaven. If there's a bar, I hope they've stocked her well. Hope there's a honky-tonk in heaven. When I get there, I'm gonna raise a whole lot of hell, yes I am. As the verse used to tick off my mommer, you can't say that. Yeah, I'm gonna walk right up to old Whalen, buy him a drink and maybe bum a light. And I know dang well even Jesus likes a good time, 'cause he's the one that turned that water into wine, yes he did. And I hope there's a honky-tonk in a heaven. There's a bar, I hope they've stocked that thing well. Hope there's a honky-tonk in a heaven. When I get there, I'm gonna raise a little hell, yes I am. I get there, I'm gonna raise a whole lot of hell. We got baptized up here. Did y'all see
We
that?
did. That was the Spirit moving, I think.
Praise the Lord and pass me a copy.
So it was a couple weeks ago, I saw Kinfo play that song, and it was incredible. They also do an amazing version of Devil Went Down to Georgia. Yeah, they're awesome. Okay, so y'all are about to get a history lesson. I thought it was funny. You're
I
talking.
thought you were in law school.
I know. But so this history, I think it's funny you're talking about the whiskey on the Bible, because I don't know why, but sometimes when you're writing, like a phrase will come to your mind, and I don't know, I just kind of like the juxtaposition of it all. But I wanted somehow to fit into a song, leaving with my gun and my Bible. Okay, that's what I wanted. And then, you know, I didn't have any personal story really to go along with that. And so I started looking up, you know, what is some Southern folklore? And I came along this lady who I think she's really cool. Okay, maybe y'all will disagree, but her name is Cleo Epps, and she lived in Oklahoma. And in the 1940s, during the Prohibition era, she ran it all, which, number one, as a woman back then to be doing that, which was kind of unheard of. And number two, she was a Bible thumper. She was a firm believer and never drank. She never drank, but she was the one running liquor everywhere. And it went from Oklahoma to all the states around it. And so I was looking into her story, and then it gets real dramatic. So she gets involved with the mafia in Oklahoma called the Dixie Mafia. They're partners until they think she's a whistleblower, and then they end up killing her. So this is justice for Cleo Epps right here. So. In the 1940s, out on Oklahoma plains, I found out that gold comes out when water's mixed with grain. The town folk think I'm lowly while the money rises high. I started selling to the men who vote to keep us dry. But tonight, it's still, I can sense their arrival. Oh, but I'm long gone with the gun and my Bible. Well, try and catch me now, try and catch me now. Oh, you've tried again, but I cannot be found. Try and catch me now, try and catch me now. I would wish you luck, but I work underground. Ooh. From drunken men I've run so long, but married wrong it seems. My husband's love of alcohol made me the bootleg queen. It's how the Dixie Mafia got hold of my good name. We formed ourselves a partnership, and through the South we reigned. Oh, for quite some time I've only run from officials, and now the Dixie folk think that I've blown a whistle. Well, try and catch me now, try and catch me now. Oh, they want the crop, but I control the plow. Try and catch me now, try and catch me now. I don't give a damn what they say's allowed. Well, my own have turned their backs on me for question of my loyalty to them. I'm wanted, but if we all run from the law, well, aren't we just one criminal? I hope you hear me taunting. Ooh, oh, I'm a ghost and you are haunted. Ooh, I may be gone, but not forgotten. Well, try and catch me now, try and catch me now. Oh, they want the crop, but I control the plow. Try and catch me now, try and catch me now. I would wish you luck, but I work underground. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of talking about criminals, you know, I've just been paying attention to a lot in the news about the loss of our generational ranches in Texas. And some of my biggest influences are the likes of Michael Martin Murphey and Red Stagel and, you know, Baxter Black. And they have a lot to say on those types of things. You know, at first it was the oil fields out in West Texas and the criminal things that they were doing to people out there to take their land. And you know, now it's even going the other direction on the clean energy side. Some of the same stuff is kind of happening. So I felt like in the spirit of cowboy poetry and some of those cowboy poets I love, I wanted to kind of write an ode to that. So. Well, Granddaddy was a cattleman out in Midland 2000 head. He'd rather made a living off the living than be king of all the dead. He'd ride up to the diner on that paint his trusty steed and meet Italian leathered oilmen who'd try to pry his deed from those calloused hands. But no lofty sum could steal that land, for they were about to meet a man who knew the fight. But he'd let them buy him breakfast, after all, it's just polite. 5 eggs, a ribeye steak, some corned beef hash, brash and some butter for the grits, and a pot of coffee, plains and black. Now the oilman's diet got the best of old Granddaddy, had him a heart attack, fell and broke his hip. The black-suited business types came riding in black limousines, making promises they couldn't keep, like the crack of a bullwhip, as he lay confined to sterile white room, when all he wanted was to smell those bonnets blue. And now the oilmen dropped by, but now he'd just send them back. And instead of coffee for Granddaddy, it was a coffin, plains and black. Now my daddy was his daddy, a stubborn old man. But Uncle Ray would beg him every day to sell Granddaddy's land, but Daddy'd refuse. So the mediator took that plot and split it right in two. And I swear I saw a tear in Daddy's eye, but it never fell. And to this day he swears he'll never sell. Now this prairie is refined with the skeletons of old oil derricks, and working men's songs in Midland have different lyrics, objectifying our daughters and subjecting sons to alcohol abuse, and telling them their self-worth is found in X amount of views, and the number of commas and zeros and zeros and commas in a computer they'll never get back. And now they've fricked all they can frack, and the plains are gone, and it's all just black. They say my manure pollutes the sky, but manure's all they're full of. As they're all screaming, let's go green, and putting up their spinny white bird murdering machines, and the altars they call farms, dedicated to the god of the sun. Now sometimes I think I'm the only one who longs to hear the midnight coyote cheering and howling at the moon, and praise Lord Jesus, please come soon to bring my mesquite garden of Eden back, and spring forth the desert rose from the liquid bones of giant lizards past, and lay over this decay and dust with hay So when Daddy rises up on Judgment Day to rightfully reclaim his tract, the asphalt will all be cracked, and the plains will spring back up from the black.
Brennan, oh my gosh, that was incredible. Are you guys enjoying the evening so far? How do you like it? Yes. There's no doubt talent is here this evening. It's usually here most every evening, but tonight is really special. And this is the 4th of our series, and why it's bittersweet, we don't like to see this come to an end, but you know, these are such a cool thing where you get to just have different shows every week, and it's just something just unique, and we're really grateful for those that come in and do it week after week. But a little Q&A time if you guys have a minute. We appreciate that. So I'll get the audience if you guys want to do a question, but I guess I'll start off with Sammy. Congratulations on law school.
Oh, thank you.
That's a big deal. So, you know, my question to you is that, you know, you're a performer, you're out there, girl, you're all over the place. So how do you see this career path leading into and merging with your current career as a singer-songwriter?
Okay, I have 3 ways. Okay. So the first way, number one, I think it's really to my benefit being able to perform over all the years, because I love to be in front of people and speaking and even singing. I don't plan on singing in court probably, but you don't know what it'll ever call for. But I think it's maybe will give me an edge on feeling comfortable delivering a message. Yeah, honestly, it's a performance. My civil procedure professor, who's the dean, so that's really scary. It's 8 a.m. every day, but he has a theater background, and you can tell, okay? Like, it's captivating. So I'm hoping there'll be some crossover there. The second one is that, I never plan on stopping playing. You know, it's definitely the part of my life I feel most passionate about, and I think the most beautiful things have resulted from it, whether it's people, things I learned about myself, growth spiritually. So yeah, anyway, thank God above for giving me this outlet in my life, because it's really been one of my favorites. And then the third, this one is a little niche. I can't remember the names of the attorneys, but they're based out of Waco, and if you haven't heard it, go home on YouTube tonight, and there's a song called Don't Eat Your Weed, okay? Yeah.
Will Hudson.
Yes. And it is, first off, it is a wonderfully written song. The harmonies are great. It's really catchy. And second, at the time at least, 100% legally accurate advice. And so I'm like, okay, there's a market out here for this. So, so that's the third one.
Awesome. Well, you know, you're about to be a busy gal, so we hope we don't get to, you know, take too much of a break off the stage, so we want to hear as much as possible. Yes. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Brennan, I'll hit you up for a second here. So, you know, talk to me about your day life and your new transition into your new, your new profession, if I would say. Yeah. So by the way, Brennan's here. He is one of our volunteers. He is one of the people at TMC, and we see Brennan like at least once a week or so. He's a regular here, but you know, I forget, and then I remember again how talented he is whenever we see him. Oh my gosh, that was such a powerful last song. But tell the audience that doesn't get to know you as well as we do about your day job.
I am a worship pastor and family pastor at a cowboy church. Top Hand Cowboy Church out off Highway 6 in Valley Mills. And so I have some people supporting from my congregation tonight. And so, it's being a worship pastor and songwriting kind of go hand in hand. I do feel like there's a good separation sometimes between maybe what's effective worship for a congregation and, you know, maybe what's more designed for a space like this to tell stories. Yeah. And so I try to, you know, straddle that line delicately.
Yeah, and
yeah.
you plus have young children, right? So
Yeah,
you're a busy guy
I have
too.
I have a
so,
2-year-old daughter, Micah Grace, and she's awesome, and my wife Megan is awesome, and so they support me unlike any other, and I'm really grateful for them.
We're so proud of our Brennan here. So you've got it, man. So just good things are happening for you, and we can't wait to see you grow and keep going further directions. So, all right, Mr. Bernie, it's your turn. So I noticed you got a little something going on here on that back table here, and I see a book. You want to talk about your book, or is that something? Yeah.
Like I said, I spent 36 years in Nashville, and my friends became household names, and my heroes became my friends. I started off in 77, 78, a little group from South Carolina asked me to tour with them and write for them, a little band called Marshall Tucker. And I was just about ready to move down to Spartanburg when I got an offer. Right out of the blue, I got a plane ticket. I was playing in Wyoming, and this is before the internet and stuff. And my booking agent connected with me and sent me a plane ticket from some guy in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And so I just decided to go down there and see what that was about. And I found out what Muscle Shoals was. And there were two producers, a guy named Robert Byrne, and he would go on to write things like all the Earl Thomas Connolly stuff, Once in a Blue Moon, that was a close one, Stranger in My House. And he had this young 19-year-old kid who I thought was there to pick up my luggage, named Mac McAnally. And Mac and I became great friends. And I mentioned Mac in the book when we start off because they told me that Muscle Shoals was dry, so I flew 2 bottles of Jack Daniels into my luggage. Didn't want to go without. And they lost my luggage. So they sent somebody out to get a bootleg bottle of Jack Daniels. And while we were sitting there, Mac sat down at this great big baby grand piano and said, you know, your country, I want to hear what you think about this song me and Donnie Lowry just wrote. And he sat down at the piano and sang, there's an old flame burning in your eyes. And I thought, I can get on the next plane out of town, get back with the band, because these guys are way over my head. And that was the start of it for me. So 36 years, I've been privileged to some amazing stories. So being a Christian, it's called Honky Tonk Angels. It talks about the biggest songs in country music, The Gambler, Lucille, Boy Named Sue, Delta Dawn, all the way up to The House That Built Me. And all the stories in this book were told me firsthand by the producers, the writers, the artists themselves. Garth and I were great friends from the very get-go. It mentions in the book how I met him at a boot store. He was selling cowboy boots. And so we invited him to come sit in with us one night. And the night he sat in, I was telling Sammy's dad about this. My friend Tony Arata was to my left. This young cowboy was to my right. And Tony Arata said, well, here's a brand new song I just wrote. And he played the dance. And this cowboy whispered in my ear that he wanted to record that song. And I thought, big deal, you sell cowboy boots for a living. So amazing stories. And I'm a Christian, so it talks about the amazing, undeniable proof in this book that God had to make it happen. When you read some of these stories, it will blow your mind from, there's an old Hank Williams song called I'll Think of Something. And if you remember right, Mark Chestnut had a hit on it. And the connection after 18 years, how that song got written. The greatest song, the greatest story in this book is an old song called House and Pooh Corner that the Dirt Band had out. It will blow your mind what God had to do to make that happen. I'm a believer, and I try to put that out there as much as I can. But the book is amazing. I have a new record out called Stockyard Cadillac. I got Texified as quick as I could and wrote a song about that Cadillac up there at Fort Worth at the Stockyards and where it may have come from. We took a lot of liberties with where we thought it came from. Even mentions a Kinky Friedman for President bumper sticker, you know. So for you people that are old enough to remember that bumper sticker. It unfortunately mentions Bevo somewhere in there, so please bear with me on that one. But the new record is amazing. We have vinyl. I have T-shirts. The one thing I don't have, what's that thing you put your beer in?
A koozie.
I hate that word. It just sounds dirty.
A can cooler,
Do
maybe.
you want to see my koozie? That just sounds like a pickup line to me. I don't know. So I don't have any koozies.
Well, we appreciate that. That sounds really good. So, like you said, there's a table in the back after the show if you guys want to go check it out. So, does anybody in the audience have any questions? We're good. So, all right. Well, we're going to get back to the song writing and the music. So, Bernie, you're back up. Thank you.
You can talk about religion all you want, but if you don't preach it, live it. So the day I left Nashville it wasn't even bittersweet for me. When God starts closing doors for you, you had better get excited. I tell you what, Nashville just wasn't where I belonged anymore. And somehow I ended up in Fredericksburg, Texas. But I spent all my life there in Nashville. I mean, I moved there when I was 27. I moved away when I was 7. So you're not a mathematician. You're going to law school. You don't have to worry about that. But right outside of Little Rock, if you've made the drive from Tennessee to Texas, you know you make that curve through Little Rock and you pick up 30. And just outside of Little Rock, I saw these two guys walking. The sun was going down. And it started to rain. And I thought, I bet they're praying. Somebody's crying, newborn baby on her chest, a 16-year-old girl, about scared half to death. Somebody's walking out on a lonely road tonight, rain falling all around. There ain't a car in sight, and all I'm saying is there's a real good chance somebody's praying. Somebody's giving someone a second chance. 'Cause she can't put that bottle down. But how she loves her man. Somebody's driving with 18 wheels, 10 hours straight. He's got a wife and 4 kids to feed, but he just can't stay awake. And all I'm saying, yeah, there's a real good chance somebody's praying. God, I know that there are millions asking for your grace. I've been there 1,000 times over too. And I don't know how it is you hear every single prayer, but hey, I believe that you do. Somebody's grabbing a guitar out of a pickup truck. Her first day down on Music Row, hoping she's good enough. Somebody's wrapping his arms around his kids and wife. The storm blew their whole world away, but they made it out alive. And all I'm saying, yeah, there's a real good chance somebody's praying. Somebody's holding the only hand they've ever loved. They know that the time is near, but they just can't give them up as the light is fading. Somebody's praying. That's a good thing. I just got to get this out of the way. Anybody that wants to go public and say that prayer is a bad thing at any time, God's going to have a conversation with them very soon. Now, that's all I can say. Bless those families in Minnesota, and bless Here's the coolest thing about God, is that God loves the shooter just as much as he loves those babies. And that's just the way you have to believe. I'm sorry. But can we all make sure we go home and pray for those folks tonight? I think it's important we do.
Yeah, clap for that. That song was beautiful. I don't even have words because I found myself so just wrapped up in the lyrics. That was really something. So I was so excited with this being the storyteller songwriter night, because some of my favorite songs that I've written are story songs. I find they're kind of the easiest to write. You start off with kind of a means to an end. You know where you're going. But this story it's one of my favorite and least favorite. Definitely one of the most influential. Ooh, sorry guys. So this song is called Return to Dust, and it is about watching my Nana and Pop live out their beautiful love story. They were married for over 50 years, and I watched him battle ALS for several years, and that was probably the most influential spiritual turning point in my life. He's sitting there, legs don't work anymore, arms don't work anymore. All he can do is drive his wheelchair with his eyes, and he's sitting there with the computer that reads his eyes and flipping the pages of the Bible. And just seeing people come together, and they'd come there to talk to my Pop, ask how he's doing, and then they would leave knowing that he cared, that he didn't care that they were there to check up on him. He made sure that he was being the same type of friend back. This is Return to Dust with reference to we live and die and return to dust from which we came. Hearts grown like winds blow. Now I'm here. It's you I found. Fields dance at each chance that they get to be around you. I'm just a memory of what I used to be, but never was. Oh, the earth will swallow us as we return to dust and try to sleep. I will lay by your side. Our only alibi is you and me. Oh, we'll laugh as our lives pass like the sun. We all will fade. It's clear that your tears grew the life that made you. I'm just a memory of what I used to be, but never was. Oh, the earth will swallow us as we return to dust and try to sleep. I will lay by your side. Our only alibi is you and me. Now I'm gone, but it won't be long till we meet face to face. We'll sing with our new wings. Take your time. He saved your place. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I try to sleep. I will lay by your side. Only alibi is you and me. Thank you, guys.
This next song, I don't want to say too much about it, but this one goes out to anyone who's ever lost someone really important to them. I remember when I first saw you, your chestnut pigtails bounced on our way to school, trying so hard to hide your braces. I smiled at you with mine, and we made faces, and how we'd grown since then, getting older from fetching you some black mug of Folgers to asking you to prom, watching you light up, seeing my whole life in that coffee cup. Graduation trip, Oklahoma, we're spending way too much in the casinos, but far too much in love to realize we'd won, blowing it all on cheap cappuccinos, and how we'd grown since then, driving exhausted from my dorm in Dallas to your job in Austin, you helping me study in that tiny Starbucks, and seeing my whole life in that coffee cup. The morning I found out I just bought a ring, was going to ask your dad to get on one knee. You didn't answer when I tried to text you, 'cause that yellow school bus had hit your little blue Vespa. And I remember when I walked into your house, the priest and the police both sitting on the couch, your mama on the ground, your daddy all curled up, and I cried my eyes out in my coffee cup. You're still 19 and now I'm 35. Sometimes I think back to being young and alive. For a while I cut out coffee, thought no one ever could see me how you saw me, but I've moved on since then. Call me crazy, I've found a new best friend. Now we have babies, and I know it's not enough, but I still feel your love when I see your eyes in my coffee cup. My daughter asked me just how she got her name, so I thought we'd drop by and bring you flowers.
don't get intimidated by playing in front of an audience, but I met Jeff over here earlier. He's a former psychologist, and he's been taking notes. Every time I talk, I look over, he's writing stuff down and trying to figure out if he thinks I'm a narcissist or... It's intimidating, Jeff. It's just... My own man was he was a truck driver. He put in 14-hour days, and he wanted me to be a truck driver. And I just finished a 2-week run from Texas to Nashville to Michigan to Iowa to Nebraska to Colorado, back down to Amarillo, and then home. So I think he got his wish. But Daddy was one of those guys. He was tickled that I was in the music business, and I had a single out on John Anderson. I thought that really tickled him, and he thought it was nice. Then I had a single out on Neil McCoy, and he thought that was okay. And songwriters in Nashville, what we would do as soon as we get a single, we'd run down to the local truck place and buy a new truck, or we'd go see Garth and buy cowboy boots. So I got this cut, and I bought this brand new truck. They gave it to me. They said, you don't have to just sign these papers, and you don't have any payments and stuff. And away I went. So Daddy was up in Interlochen, up in Michigan. I drove all the way up there to show Daddy this new truck. And Daddy never, ever, ever believed in credit. So he said, "That's a pretty truck, son." I said, "Thanks, Daddy." He goes, "Is it new?" I said, "Brand new, Dad. Don't have 800 miles on it. It's brand new." And he said, "Well, how much are the payments?" I got all bowed up, and I said, "Daddy, your kid has got the new Conway Twitty single." He smiled and said, "You ain't got to lie. How much are the payments?" So I wrote this song for my old man. It's the only song I ever had go #1 in Texas or in Nashville. I wrote this with a great writer named Dave Gibson. He's not here, so I wrote it by myself. We were poor when I was a youngin'. Don't remember ever going hungry. Daddy made sure we didn't do without. Went to school with some of these fellas. Had money and I was jealous. Didn't know then, but I know now. Daddy say you can't judge a book by looking at the cover. It's what's inside really matters. Daddy never was Cadillac kind. He said some things glitter and shine. Taught us that love, it wasn't one thing money couldn't buy, 'cause Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. I left home right out of high school, got me a big car and thought I was real cool, cruising around the neighborhood. See Daddy after church on Sundays, say you have to go riding with me someday. Just said no, never understood. And then he asked me how I bought it, told him on credit, and Daddy just smiled. I'll never forget it, 'cause Daddy never was Cadillac kind. He said some things that glitter and shine. Taught us that love wasn't one thing money couldn't buy, and Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. Took a while, but now I'm grown and I'm settled down, kids of my own, and the more I give them, the more they want. Daddy left us last remember him ever looking better all laid out in his Sunday best. Sure, instead of all that attention, all he'd wanted was a few words mentioned. A simple man simply laid to rest. As they drove him away in that big Cadillac, with a tear in my eye, I had left. Daddy never was Cadillac kind. He said some things that just glitter and shine. But just that one time, I sure hope Daddy enjoyed that ride, 'cause Daddy never was the Cadillac kind. My daddy never was the Cadillac kind.
That was awesome. It's kind of interesting, you know, with it being song specifically towards storytelling, how raw it gets so quickly, and it's just, I think, just apparent. I'm sure y'all feel the same, but it's such an outlet, whether it's telling stories about people close to us or ourselves, or even just putting ourselves in other people's shoes. You know, you tend to write about the more raw things, and whether that could be positive, you know, it could, but also it's easy to write about heartbreak and loss. But this is a story song. Where's my psychologist out there? Is they're writing the notes? Oh, there we go. Okay, so this song actually ends up, it's not a real story. It's, I don't know, if you're a true crime fan, maybe you'll like it. But it's called In My Mind. And the reason I wrote this, I was just messing around with some songs or some chords, and I thought it sounded kind of spooky. And, you know, there's all those old country story songs about murder, or, you know, some guy, you know, he's heartbroken and goes and kills this woman or whatever it is. And I kept thinking to myself, I have never heard a woman's perspective on any of these songs. And so looking back, I should have wrote her a happier outcome. But this is kind of just a look into the mind. Yeah, I'll let y'all figure it out. I'm not gonna spoil. I saw you on a walk that evening. I was out too late. I should have known by the way you approached me, this was death or fate. You took me by my hand that evening, led me to the pier. And now your voice forever haunts me, ringing in my ear. And he knows. And he knows. And he knows where I'll go. And now my life is constant hiding. Better lock my door. The clock is ticking, time is biting. He'll be back for more. I changed my hair and I changed my number. There's nothing he won't find. Am I crazy? Where are you hiding? Are you in my mind? And he knows. Yeah, he knows. Oh, he knows just where I'll go. And he knows. He followed me for 7 summers, watched my every move. When the police called that August, I don't accept their news. They told me you'd been caught in Boston, a shootout with the law. But I know you're still out there somewhere. I don't care what they saw. And they lied. Oh, I know they lied. You didn't die. Oh, they lied. And now my life is constant hiding. I better lock my door. The clock is ticking, time is biting. He'll be back for more. I changed my hair and I changed my number. There's nothing he won't find. Am I crazy? Where are you hiding? Are you in my mind? These walls are white, and nurses tell me that you've died. That can't be true. I've underestimated you. This is all part of his plan, and all I've ever done is ran. And now my life is constant hiding. Better lock my door. The clock is ticking, time is biting. He'll be back for more. I changed my hair and I changed my number. Something he won't find. Oh, am I crazy? Where are you hiding? Are you in my mind? And he knows. Yeah, oh yeah, he knows. Oh, he knows just where I'll go. Yeah, he knows. Oh, and they never saw you die. Oh, I know they lie. He would have said goodbye. Thank you.
Wow, I really love that one. Yeah. Y'all don't, as I think all of us as musicians up here, like we're all watching each other's hands, and
Yeah.
and it's amazing because even as a guitarist, you can always learn something else from another guitarist. And
I've been
so,
watching his chords he uses all night because they're so full sounding. They're awesome.
This last one, I promised my buddy over here on the camera, Andrew, that I would play this one tonight. You know, Kerrville, what happened in Kerrville really messed me up. I think as a parent, when you see stuff like that happening to kids, and even what's happening now, you know, you start to kind of put yourself in the position of the parents that are mourning those losses, and so this one's called "Floating Along." There's a teddy bear floating down the Guadalupe, where last month I floated on my inner tube. There's an F-150 flipped outside of Stonehenge too, by the dam that no one knew to give. Flags at half-mast on 4th of July, a picture that I never thought I'd have burned in my mind. They say 200 dead, so how do we survive and go on with our simple lives and live? When somewhere a heart-broke mama's crying, reading herself Goldilocks, and Pinewood Derby ain't the same with one car in a pinewood box. And we ask for reasons, and we all wonder what went wrong. I guess we each have our own way of floating along, floating along. Oh, little girl sings a hymn floating downstream, singing rise and shine and give God all the glory. 2 babies in that live oak tree gave us hope that maybe with our lost innocence, oh, someday we could cope. But right now mama's crying, packing up her baby socks, and Pinewood Derby ain't the same with whole families in Pinewood boxes. And I talk to Jesus, and I pour my soul into these songs. I guess we each have our own way of floating along, floating along. Now there's clowns in the atmosphere, seeding clouds of hate, and they don't give a flying rip about our Lone Star State. Oh, they ain't worth the trouble, son. No, they ain't worth the fight. Just go home and hold your babies a little closer tonight. Now somewhere that heartbroken mama's helping other mamas through their loss, and that Pinewood Derby's named after the families in those Pinewood boxes. And I still talk to Jesus and pour my soul into these songs. I guess we each have our own way of floating along, floating along. There's a teddy bear floating down the Guadalupe on a bed of roses duct taped to an inner tube.
Thank you. Give it up for Brendan McFarland, the lovely Miss Sammy Brown, and Mr. Bernie Nelson. They did a great job tonight, didn't they? Yes, yes. This is concluding our fourth of our Troubadour Tales singer-songwriter series. We've got another one coming up soon. I don't know exactly the date, but we do have another concert on the 6th if you guys want to join us. Tonight was really special, guys. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for coming out and experiencing this. You know, it doesn't matter what your religious belief is or your spiritual thoughts are. If you didn't leave here tonight, at least your heart touched, inspired, or some sort of just uplift in your spirit, I can't help you because it's right here, guys, isn't it? Yeah, and as is mentioned, there's a lot of dark and a lot of ugly out there in the world, and you know, at least you get to come here for a few hours and kind of escape that and just be with good people. So this is the end of the evening. We appreciate you, but we're going to turn the lights back up and stick around. We like to get, oh, yes. Yes, absolutely, yes. Simply incredible, yeah, but thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.